Hey everybody, welcome back once again to the PCS Summer Split. We are just 3 games away from finishing out the first round robin. My, where does the time go? But before we get into our next match of the night, I do want to take a moment once again to thank our lovely sponsor, CTBC Bank. After all, we are family, Clement, and of course our broadcast partners, Garena, Carry Live, and Riot Games for making this whole thing possible. Up next is a battle of 2 teams very much struggling to find footing here, Impunity and FALCON team. Clement, I feel like this could be a bit of an experiment of both these squads to see what's going to stick.
Yeah, both of these teams definitely on a soul-searching journey. A large part of it has just been because of these roster swaps. I think you just counted 7 roster swaps between these 2 teams for the side of Impunity.
So many.
The only player that hasn't changed is Alex. So we'll be going into the first team first, and this is Impunity's new look. LZ is back in the lineup. Husky is in, so the kind of XHQ elements have been subbed out, and we also have the Korean imports in Jackpot and Yushin. So far, this team, it's kind of hard to say what the real issues are, but their bottom lane has just been absolutely just dumpstered on, regardless if it's LZ or Onyx playing. We've seen both teams, their opponents, just focusing on this bot lane. And we saw Flame Horizon earlier on against LZ. We saw another terrible start for Anex. So that's going to be the first thing we have to see if Impunity can actually get through the bot lane laning phase.
Yeah, this team got perfect gamed yesterday. That is a little bit rough to see. And yeah, I think they're struggling to find an identity as well as a 5-man roster core. The one exception, I think one thing that worked out really well for them was like a Jinx game for Onyx. But like once it gets banned, it's like, okay, whatever, what are you gonna do? Maybe investing in your younger players, LZ, it does make a lot of sense. I'm curious about the mid lane swap, and also, yeah, they've had 3 substitutions in the support role. Jackpot hasn't really shown us anything yet that I don't think we would have seen from ICU. It's a lot of question marks for me. I'm wondering what's gonna happen, where they're gonna find a win, and for MFT, I'm wondering if this team is going to be able to put it all together, because they've made a few swaps of their own, but they seem to have stuck. Taco in the top, 665 back in the jungle, Hong 2 now in the mid, and Whale and Issue. And I think they just haven't really found a super consistent way to play the game. Let's take a look, comparing our mid laners, of course, who have had not as many games as some of the other ones in this league. And it definitely looks better for Husky on paper, except for the damage percentage, because Husky doesn't nearly deal as much when he plays Silas and Yone, apparently.
Yeah, I will say, just with the eye test, Home 2's got me a little bit more excited as a roster substitution coming in. We all knew that Whale sort of lacked a bit of a champion pool, and then Home 2 comes in, gets that carry pants on, takes a lot of pressure off of Taco. And we do have to remember, like, even though MFT, you look down their score line, they've only won against Dewish team in 7-9. They've actually had very close games against both PSG and against Beyond Gaming. So, in terms of the ceiling, MFT is definitely still there. It's just about actually bringing everyone online. I'll be honest, 665, I think he's still wandering somewhere out there in the wilderness. A lot of really weird mistakes. Just kind of shuts down in the late game. So I think MFT has a high ceiling, but they just haven't been able to close out the games they should be winning.
And we have no idea where Impunity's ceiling or even floor is, because this team just hasn't stayed stable together. But we are into picks and bans. We'll see who finds a win in this one, maybe starts their turnaround, as Azir, Renata, and Senna all taken away by Impunity. You see MFT focusing on some of those other power picks. Zarya and Talia come off the board.
I just want to see Impunity just first pick a Kalista and be happy with it. I feel their biggest problem in the past 2 games is they've just been down 50 CS in the bot lane. They've just been absolutely destroyed there. So we haven't gotten to see anything else. It's just a massive loss. We saw Little V just go in and 1v2 them with ease. Impunity's still going to go for a hyper carry, and MFT smell blood. They know what the trend is. So
all right.
I think
Kalista's up. Ooh, okay, they're playing with some ideas. I mean, if they go for like, the Lucian Nami, that's always a possibility, but maybe they want to fight fire with fire. It could be a bit of a spring throwback if they lock the Jinx.
Okay, this is typically where people attack them. There we go. If the
there we go. It was all a bait.
Yeah, like the way Impunity has actually lost their game is level 1 Kalista and Renata just walk at their AD carry, and it just doesn't seem like Yushin and the other player, which likely speaks Mandarin, have been able to communicate. It just kind of flail around and get double killed. So I think going for the Kalista is definitely the way to go. You know, at least make Impunity prove that they've made improvement.
So, Impunity already going to have a bit of a hard time in the lane unless they find themselves something to stay a little safer here. The Corki will get locked in, though, for Husky, his first, as he's only played a couple of games.
His first
they pair it up with Tom Kench. That would be something to help. Yeah, you're right. It is his first ranged champion. I mean, Silas is melee, but his chains go far.
Husky is pretty much a bruiser only player, so I think it's always noteworthy when he plays within the meta and actually gives you control mage. I would love for Hong2 to actually get his focus on his face. There you go. Beautiful shot there. For MFT, you know, they don't have the Renata, so they do have to think about something else here. This has been proven very successful by Woody. We've seen it a couple times already. Great engage potential, especially in that Dragon Pit area. You can always jump over the wall and just crash down.
Rel coming in for issue has already shown it once before, but Woody was the one who made the highlight plays and definitely pairs well with a Kalista. You can just send it on out from the Fate's Call and cover a wide swath of distance. MFT already finding some pretty heavy engaged. Don't forget that Poppy in there for 665 as they ban away the Trundle, looking to try and keep Alex away from some of the good jungle counter matchups.
Does look like Impunity are going to go for the more late game side of the strategy. You have your big hyper carry in Athelios and in the Corki. So the rest of the draft just needs to play around those few points. So far, Jackpot has not been having a great time in lane. He was solo killed by Hanabi earlier on, and I just haven't seen his bruisers really work out. So I wouldn't mind just going for something like, you know, Gragas, maybe something like reset the battlefield. Ornn would be completely fine as well. You have the damage already. You're just trying to round out the keep away potential and the sort of frontline potential here.
All right, two junglers banned by MFT. The Xin Zhao also taken away. Impunity, they're gonna take their time.
I really love these
they
jungle
still
bans.
Focus Hong too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jungle bans from MFT really nice. The Trundle is a counter to the Poppy, so you don't want to give them too much of an early game lead. And the Xin Zhao has been used by Bury a lot of times to great effect, just keeping backlines safe. So they take away that one. Good read on with the composition that Impunity wants to build. Now for MFT, they are looking for engage potential. They want to go in, they want to finish this fight off in the mid game, and that's why Impunity are taking away these potential tempo picks in the RE. What? Okay.
This is a Vigar. That's not mid game. That's late game.
I wonder if he still goes with Predator. Vigar.
That'd be a real spring throwback.
Yeah. Now the Predator, the boost speed has been nerfed quite a bit. I'm not sure it's viable. So we'll have to see what the main strategy is. Could be.
Okay, this is interesting. I expect this out of like somebody like Nesty, but Hong too. He's gonna try flexing as his champ pool was drained a little bit. Viego comes in for Alex. Speaking of pools that have been kind of set a little farther back, and Jackpot, well, Sejuani would round him out with a nice tank, and they will lock it.
I don't think this is perfectly okay for Impunity's composition. Standard answer would probably be a Gwen here for Taco. He does love his kills, though, I will say. Gwen's probably the go-to that most people would select here. You get that true damage to work through the frozen armor. And you, of course, you outscale into the late phases as well. I'm just very curious about this Agar matchup. Oh no, they're going for Aatrox?
Okay. He goes for the Aatrox at the end of the day. I mean, this is an interesting change-up from the MFT side. What do you reckon now, looking at everything else?
I don't really like the Aatrox.
Did this Vigar top? No. Okay.
No,
I got excited for a second.
No way. I'm not a huge fan of the Aatrox just because it shifts the composition too heavily into physical. If you look at MFT right now, they have 4 physical damage dealers, and Vigar is only there for burst. So, you know, people are not going to be itemizing against him all that much either. I feel like this puts him on a path squarely to win early or not at all.
I think the gauntlet's been thrown for Hong too. I am very curious to see what happens. Maybe they're just feeling very confident going into Husky, playing off of the types of champions that he prefers. And I suppose it always is a little difficult to prepare for a team like Impunity just because you don't really know what 5-man roster they're going to be bringing out. At the end of the day, though, MFT, they really pull a bit of a swap up on us, and I'm not so sure what to make of this one, Clement. You said the concerns loud and clear, so much physical damage, easy to itemize against, not to mention some very beefy tanks on either side of the map. And oh boy, we knew that this was going to be a bit of a test bed, but I don't think we knew how experimental it really would get.
Yeah, I think this draft is very similar to our first draft of the day between Duish Team and DCG. So the strategy here is for MFT to constantly lock away the main tank and initiator in Sejuani onto the top side. You're going to see a lot of early ganks here by the Poppy. That's my guess. And Aatrox, because he's so skill reliant, he really has trouble bursting through targets these days. That's why you haven't really seen Aatrox at all in the meta. Unless he gets some sort of lead, it's going to be very hard to play out. And I expect MFT to just hard force top. You're going to naturally win out on the bot lane matchup, naturally have control over the bottom side, and just try to play Drake stack plus Herald stack.
Well, I guess we're going to see what ends up happening. It sounds like we are going to be getting onto the Rift in a little bit, but a short delay. So we get to kind of break this one down a little bit further, Clement. It was the early pickup of the Aphelios, and, Impunity, they have struggled on that bottom side, and I think we knew that this was coming. We knew that MFT were going to try and find an answer to get them early. The Rel and Callista is pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we're gonna be reliant on this Corki to come in here and maybe save the day, or maybe try to match some jungle pressure with the Viego. There are a lot of tools that Impunity has, but I do worry with this bottom side playing for late game scaling, playing the Aphelios. They've already shown it's potentially a liability.
Yeah, for sure. And if you look at the general scaling, Impunity definitely looking to hit the 3-item spike. On the other hand, MFT are ready to go at 1.5. They have incredible power spikes over there. You talk about the Everfrost coming in, and of course the Immortal Shield Bowl just making the bot lane unkillable without ignites coming through. So Impunity have to hold off. And to be honest, in most drafts, I actually favor the left side of this draft. I do like the flexibility of just deciding whether you want to take the engages or not. But the Veigar here is very interesting. I feel like the Veigar ability to just throw down a cage and force flashes, that could speed up the tempo significantly, and I'm very curious to see what sort of a build that Hong2 actually goes for here. Remember, in the past, Veigar was pretty much always running the Predator, but in this meta, it might be something like the First Strike.
Yeah, let's see. We're about to find out. We'll load up to Summoner's Rift, and it is still the Predator. This is interesting. Quite the throwback, despite the nerfs for Hong 2. Alrighty.
Yeah, he is going to be missing some early game damage and some movement speed, but Hong 2 still wants to play the tempo game, and he's going in with the Spring Split Veigar. Very interesting build to see work here. If we take a look at the jungle pass, I do expect Poppy to actually start bottom side, but no, it looks like they're going to start top here. Maybe this could be a cheeky level 3 red side gank coming in from 665.
They're defying all our expectations. Oh boy. Yeah, it's going to be some Yorl combat in the mid. Husky and Hong 2. Teleports across the board, of course. It's matched both sides, and I still think for MFT, yeah, 1.5 items are going to feel pretty good about themselves. I want to see if they do focus a little on the bot side, so always got to track those jungles. As you said, they're going to actually have Taco go for the leash here with 665.
Yeah, this should be ringing a lot of alarm bells on the side of Impunity here. So you can see Jackpot, he is not touching the wave at all. He's like, I smell a trap happening right here. I know the leash is coming. There's a potential for early ganks. We have seen a lot of just level 3 red side ganks coming in. So
yeah,
let's see how Jackpot
very
decides to play this one. Especially without flash.
Defensive ignite as well. Yeah, keep in mind, yeah, he's trying to deny the all-in if he can, but will not be able to close the gaps outside of the dash. So the game is underway here. I want to keep an eye on this bottom side as well. Issue. Gonna get licked away. Ooh, Taco taking a lot of damage early. Actually, nice stack up from Jackpot.
Very nice use on the Winter's Flail there, and also using the level 2 power spike to get as much done as possible. Meanwhile, taking a look at the bottom here, I don't believe there was a leash on the bottom side, but Ballista level 1, definitely very powerful, so Impunity seeding right away. I will say in the matchup overall, I do actually think that Impunity, with just the harass coming in from Tom Kench, does have a little bit of a lead. But MFT's bot lane duo is definitely a much stronger ganking duo, as you can just throw the Tom Kench back. If he tries to use the Abyssal Dive, you can actually interrupt it just straight up. So it's a very dangerous lane for the Tom Kench to play here.
Yeah, but of course, the one factor we do have to keep in mind, right, is 665. You mentioned it in the start of the game that he's kind of been a little out in the woods, which is a very nice way of saying he's been a little tilted. And we've seen Renhao come in a number of times, curious why the former support player has been playing in the jungle position. It's been a little bit odd. So now 665's in, he's on the Poppy. We'll see how well he plays. I do think that's going to be very telling of the MFT strategy, is how well he's able to accomplish it. We've already seen one Poppy really flail around this game today, as Jackpot goes through just seeing if he can spot out any jungle pressure, doesn't find it. So they do relay that information, meaning 665 should be bot. LZ and Yushin gonna back away.
And this wave is gonna push into Impunity, so I think they're completely fine right here. Ooh, Jackpot actually misses the dash, but we'll be okay. And I want to see if Alex tries to exploit this situation here. He probably knows that the Poppy is no longer there, so he's gonna chance out. But ward already dropped here by MFT.
Yeah, this is nice. They're keeping it covered, so Alex gets to clear away on the sweep. Ooh, Yushin with the 2-man knockup. They find issue immediately, and that's Alex turning in, looking for more, but he does not have the ultimate. Can't spend the Heartbreaker. We're not done, though. It's action on both sides of the rift here as bloody swords and frozen enemies. Jackpot finding Taco on the better counter engage on the Sejuani.
Yeah, and
level 5 dinged first, though, so Taco feeling it.
Looks like Jackpot is going to wait a while. I think he's holding back just because we saw the pings go down onto the Krugs. They know that Poppy is likely around the top side. And they're just going to wait a while until they actually know where Poppy is. You can see Taco playing very aggressively, just kind of fronting there as well. That's always one of the cool things to see about top lane is, you know, if you can tell the enemy suspects that your jungler is around, then you play like he's actually around. So nice acting there. Coming in from Taco. Now the Poppy is spotted by the minion wave, though, so we should see Jackpot just going in immediately. Oh,
he's got Ignite. Oh, throws out the ultimate, forces the flash. Taco gets right back before he gets turned into a Taco-sicle. And he stays alive, but free flash burn. Jackpot getting the better of him. He's chasing him all the way down the lane. He can just get some dirty farm on.
Oh, this is nice. What a great punish here from Jackpot. He actually spotted the Poppy on the mid lane minion wave. Instantly goes in, and I think that's just unfortunate from MFT. They didn't coordinate that very well. I feel like Taco needed to back off. I just don't think he was paying attention to the wave state right there, and the jungle showing just means Impunity gets a gets to slow down this Aatrox quite a bit.
They will use the timer to take a dragon on this one, but still, Impunity kind of reading what's going on the top side, and better 1v1. Jackpot's gotten to flex a little bit. Remember, Taco is a very exciting player, had some huge standout moments in the spring split. We haven't really seen much of him in the summer so far, and he's getting kind of bopped a little bit by the Sejuani. However, he is going to turn around, does miss that Darkened Blade, and now Jackpot turns the damage right on him. Still has Ignite if he needs it.
Now, to be completely honest, at some point, the Sejuani is going to have a difficult time with the Aatrox. The sustain coming in with the World Ender pretty much means that the kill threat from Sejuani isn't going to be that high, unless like there are some misplays from Taco. So I feel like MFT, this game, I just haven't seen how they're going to make this composition work just yet. Sure, they have some potential outscale with the Vigar late game. He does have infinite stacks, but I think they need to hurry up. This game plan right now for me is just going a little too slow.
Yeah, they haven't given up first blood yet, though. But Impunity have picked up a bit of a gold lead on some farming, on some pushback. You can see the difference pretty high there in the bottom with LZ and Yushin. Have been able to do quite well. I think Whale and Issue have been forced back. We haven't really seen the pressure come out as much, and we also haven't seen 665 really putting an appearance down bottom. I think we were hoping for more, and now he's got the Keeper's Verdict, but he hasn't taken a trip down there.
We've talked about this in the pregame. The most important thing for both of these lanes is going to be ganks. It's not a 2v2 lane that wins by itself. It has to get some help from the jungler position. And just watch this, Yushin and Alex actually do out
junglers. Oh no, the permafrost into the glacial prison. First blood on the Heartbreaker is Alex. Oh boy, that's one for the Viego.
Yeah, and they could just be looking to take away this Herald right now. A great timing here coming in from Alex just as the Herald is about to spawn. He gets a no contest top lane, and we talked about this. MFT, they need to use those power spikes, and here they go.
Here we go. Level 6. Oh, LZ, clutch dodge right there as they do bring the Ferromancy issue. Comes right over the top of Yushin's head, and Issue taking a lot, but Yushin is as well. They turn their attention on two side supports, battling, AD carries. Whale needs the rend. He goes in, tanks 2 tower shots, and LZ does manage to get a kill on the opposite side, but here comes 665. Husky on the roam as well. LZ caught out on the wrong side of this map. Smite goes down. Whale dashing in, does get the kill. 665 turns, throws the buckler at Husky. MFT's bottom lane comes out ahead.
Good extended trade coming in for MFT. They just saw the Herald being taken by Alex, so they know the jungler is stuck top lane. They go in knowing that they have a 3v2, and they're able to finish up the trades. So, you know, they do get some good value out of that Herald coming in from the top lane. Also, Hong 2 is going to be able to pick up a bit of uncontested farm here. Always nice for the mid laner.
Yeah, getting a couple of plates on it as well. I mean, yeah, the Vigar is a ticking time bomb, right? So you always have to keep that in mind. Let's take a look at the trade start. Whale does get the Fates call out, forcing the flash of LZ, and there's so many Ren stacks there. Issue kind of splits Yushin and LZ for a second with the Ferromancy, and honestly, Whale's positioning here is really good. He does have to flash at the end, though.
Yeah, honestly, this is a play that was slightly miscalibrated by Impunity. You could tell that MFT did not want to full-on engage while LZ still had the Moonlight Vigil off, but once they were able to dodge that ability, then the play opened up the door for them, and they're able to take the 2 versus 1. So it was actually really well played by LZ earlier on, but just the miss ultimate did mean that MFT saw the chance to get the 2 for 1.
Yeah, and Whale gets 2 kills off that one. Goal accelerated. There we go. The baby cage comes down as Alex is going to be stopped, and ooh. Extra mod dodge just barely, and there's the Predator on. They turn their attention, forcing the defensive Heartbreaker. So at least in 2 lanes, MFT are feeling pretty good. It's up top with Taco, and this Aatrox we were questioning has been struggling.
Yeah, Aatrox has definitely just seen better days. Again, any champion that doesn't have percent HP damage feels a bit weaker into the top side, and Aatrox is true. Flat damage 80 scaling the entire way, so it's not been a great time for him.
They could have easily taken the Gwen.
No, I'm kind of surprised they didn't take the Gwen. I think it would have given them so much more time on the clock as well, just because you have another source of actually sustained AP damage. Like, right now, I don't think Impunity need to build any MR. Like, if you burst me, okay, I'm kind of dead, but the rest of the team, you know, that's it. They don't have any magic damage elsewhere, so if you keep your front line in place, you know, it shouldn't really be possible anyway.
So there's a teleport timing advantage here for Jackpot if he actually wanted to try and get involved in a dragon fight. This is going to be the startup by 665 Whale and Issue. With the Callista, it should be a lot easier for them to secure, but Impunity, they're around the back. I don't think they're going to go for the steal. It's a nice play. MFT, the Dragon Stack. Oh, wow, Taco is burning, and he's out of there. Jackpot with a solo kill up top side.
Well done, Jackpot. Every time that he knows where the jungler is, he's just willing to go in and take it to Taco. Taco has not been having a great time here. I really think Taco needs to sync up his movements a little bit better with the jungler. Like, once 665's position is known on the map, he should be backing out. Jackpot, this is the second time he's just been getting an all-in trade when he knows where Poppy is.
Yeah, here's the extent of this was happening with the Dragon, and Jackpot just lines it up perfectly, does not really care about Taco's abilities, and turns it out, throws the Ice Bowl, it goes in, Ignite, oh, and he even gets the flash off of it. Taco just completely whiffs it.
I really like what Jackpot has been doing here as well. You know, just walking back and waiting for the W cooldown. He's actually baited Taco to walk back into him. So, you know, it's not just the jungle position. It was actually just a straight up outplay on the side of Jackpot. And Impunity, they now have a great opportunity to just scale up into late game.
665. Okay, 665 doesn't take. The Poppy Ultimate Steadfast Presence is on. They get the charge out. He takes it down. Yeah. I mean, you could just bop Shelly and buy a little time, but I don't think they wanted to. Gets his ult back.
Yeah.
And one thing we got to talk about, Common, is it is a Hextech Rift. This is pretty big. Jackpot's counter jungling. This is an aggressive Sejuani. I like it.
Oh boy, this is getting from bad to worse on the side of MFT. I haven't.
Oh, wait a minute. Bright spot. LZ caught. I don't know what he was doing down there solo.
It was just alone in lane, so I think he was just trying to back on the ward of MFT, and MFT said, okay, thank you very much, freebie.
Yeah, this is going to end up at least one plate here. And, wow, all right, so
3-0.
I feel like this game is kind of tilting lopsided, Clement. It's going really badly for MFT in the top, but down bot, it's better. And, yeah, you cannot back on a ward like that.
Yeah, these
did
are
not
just
see that one.
Rookie mistakes, and I hate to say it, but it seems to happen every single time Impunity have been playing. Their bot lane just cannot hold itself just straight up 2v2. So once again, we find ourselves in a position where bot lane is massively fed, and we've seen how this story goes. Like, if MFT can start roaming around this Ballista, start leading the lane, then maybe they can flip some of these matchups elsewhere.
Yeah, they would love to grab a win here. I mean, it's just such a heartbreak of a game up against the side of PSG. They seem to have it against the champions. Like, that's such a huge boost, but they couldn't quite do it. They fumbled at the end, and now things are looking a little bit better. The gold game is very close. They also have the Dragon Stack, and yeah, it's a Hextech Rift. So with these Hex Gates, you now have a lot of fun potential on the map. But Taco in trouble yet again. Alex on the chase down. Jackpot's here, and the special delivery. Gatling gun into the kill for Husky. Impunity know a weak point when they see one.
Yes, they do, and I just don't know what this Poppy plus Aatrox duo is supposed to do here. On the flip side, though, Impunity are out of position. I'm very doubtful if they can survive this one.
Yeah, 665, there's already flashes being burned, looking for the Ferromancy. They actually get out. Oh, except the Vigor cage. The burst isn't quite there yet for Hong 2. He's going to get out and give him time. Keep in mind that is always a timer. I do want to take a look when they flash back how many Vigor stacks we're looking at.
Very nicely done there by LZ, you know, getting the flash and Gale Force to get out there. So he was one ability away from burst potential coming in from Hong2, managed to survive that, and Alex takes a second Herald. So all in all, it's quite a favorable play for Impunity.
Not bad. Little advantage is being gained across the map, right? I mean, the big thing for MFT is that bot lane's looking really good right now, but they do get denied the kill, and Alex is able to take another Herald, and I got at least one charge off of it. We've already got first brick up top, right? I mean, that lane is full on lost. Taco, what is he going to do? That's the question for the rest of this game.
Yeah. Aatrox definitely not one of those champions. I think he's very different from Fiora, in the fact that if you go to 3-item Fiora, you're just going to win that top lane matchup against tanks. Doesn't really matter what the tank can do. But Aatrox doesn't work the same. Aatrox doesn't have that sort of infinite scaling true damage or percent HP that goes with his kit. So he's very reliant on actually just being ahead in gold. And I don't think that's happening in this game whatsoever. So this Aatrox is going to be a huge question mark going forward.
Yeah, now we are going to see potentially a fight over this first Hextech Drake. It's actually Ward Wars as Issue steps up to try and muscle in and face tank away, but Impunity still have wards to spare. Kind of get zoned out here. Herald getting popped into the mid. Gonna throw down the event horizon. Hong 2 gonna try and stop the Herald charge if he can. It gets slowed for just a second. They will get the clear off, but can't really stop this full charge. It's going down. Don't get the tower, though, and Impunity at least have inside track on this dragon. If they can cut away the Drake stack, that's pretty big.
This is always the biggest moment for MFT. They haven't been able to engage very well so far. Let's see if they can find something. Ooh, they're going to have to wait for the cooldown to come back up. A really short one, but 665 still needs to hit someone here.
X-Flash. Here we go, Issue. He was looking for an opener, but Impunity respecting the distance here, and they're just keeping the Dragon aggro without really presenting too much of a target. Might come down to a 50-50. Moonlight Vigil does come through, and there's the turn. Jackpot on the front. They will be able to open up. Alex takes Hongtu out of the fight, and meanwhile, Jackpot just holding the front line, and they just melt through the rest of MFT. The ejection of Husky happens, but it doesn't matter. Whale gets stopped from hopping, and it's shut down gold to Husky. 665 running for the hills as he takes the blast going out to safety along with Taco. That's going to be the denial.
Just great engage coming in from Jackpot here. Alex is going to be a nuisance to these players, stopping some backs.
He can interrupt.
Yeah, don't expect much to happen.
Wait a minute. Yeah. I will say critically, at the end of this engage, we'll talk about it here as Jackpot's trying to run away because we have a teleport coming through. MFT, they do not want to give this up. Hongtu comes through, finds the event horizon. They will get the root down, dropping it, and Hongtu claiming the kill. LZ and Yushin sniffing around. Let's see if they can get another play off because they do have the Corki incoming. And the turnabout's there. Husky finding one on his opposite number, 665, burning from the Gatling gun, steadfast presence of the flash to try and get away. And the fight has not stopped. I think that'll be it, though. And Clement, MFT, after all the dust settled, they lose out, but they do get the Dragon.
Oh, that is true. I almost missed that point. So MFT, they do buy themselves a win condition, albeit at a very heavy price coming into this one. We're going to watch this again. The poke was really well done coming in here by Husky. He gets so many shots off. Moonlight Vigil as well. And at the same time, Jackpot going in. They burst Hongtu down before the primordial burst is even used here, so it's just a straight up massacre. 665, he does get an ejection, but it's honestly just way too late into the battle, and that was a great play coming in from on the side of Impunity. The distance was really nice. The way they goaded them into blind terrain was also just beautiful, and I feel like MFT's early game composition kind of just fell apart there in the team fight. You also saw a massive shutdown on top of Whale going over to the other side. Jackpot is a tank, taking down the tower in front of Aatrox. Oh, that's so disrespectful, but I love it.
Jackpot is having such a great game, and I think we're finally starting to see like why he was the choice to replace ICU, who definitely had a little bit of a rough start to his split, but was such a highlight player on last split's Hurricane gaming, and this is by far his best game. I want to say like Jackpot's come in, he's full tank Sejuani, but he's still playing it kind of like a bruiser, and yeah, zoning MFT away. But there is the Drake timer. That's the one thing. 665 is like, all right, we lost this fight. What do we do? Jackpot? Oh no, he's just soloing Taco. Gets the stop off, the stun, walks away from the tower. He may not get the kill, but maybe this is MFT trying to go for the 3v3. They do get that crash down into the Magnet Storm, and 665 just trying to cut him off the pass here. Yushin, they're getting knocked up. There go the red stacks. Big shutdown onto Alex and the Moonlight Vigil. Doesn't do quite enough. And they're low health bars, but they get 2 as MFT smell blood.
Out of nowhere, they actually just open up a Baron opportunity here. The jungler is down, and Whale has that extra smite. It's a 2 smite versus 0 smite scenario.
What is this game? MFT just found the craziest opening. It's not secured yet. Husky and Jackpot are here. Alex is still down, though. There's no smite fight, but they can melt them away using that baby cage to try and prevent it. That's the smite down, but will he be able to get away? Steadfast presence, the back away, extended, just dancing around. 665 may give his life for the cause here. Oh, I don't believe it if he lives. And he does with a sliver of hit points. They're pinging him. They want the kills. I don't think he'll live. No, he gets the dash to the minions. And it's just keep away. The Gatling gun. No! 665.
Is that the turnaround?
Oh, it's not
done.
done.
Even holds.
I'm 2-9. Oh, wow. I can't believe it. MFT get out with the Baron. They delay some backs, but they don't get the kills. This game just keeps on turning. I have no idea how this is going to end.
And that turn is huge because they're going to have minion wave control going into the Hextech Soul. They should be able to actually get all the vision around here by just shoving the waves in and forcing a response. So we'll watch again how this all started. It does seem like the 3 least tanky members just got caught by the Fates Call, Rel engage. They walk themselves into a 3v4, give over a double kill to Hongtu, get their 80 carry killed, and throw Baron. This is why you have to watch the games to their conclusion. It's not always going to go smoothly.
No, this has been anything but smooth. What a rocky road we've been on. An MFT on Hextech Soul, setting up the brush bait. Hextech Flash. Oh, that game is giving away a little bit there as the Sentinels just keep on spying out Impunity members. But Dragon hits the Rift. Impunity have to fight this. They can't afford to give this one away. Vygar Baby Cage just come down, and Taco around the side. His job is just distract and deflect. Here comes the Poppycopper on the windup. They eject Yushin, immediately turning over to the Dragon. They just need to buy a little bit of time to get the smite down. The Ren is going to come through, and it's taken away. That's the soul point, and now they're going to be able to try and take the fight. In comes Husky around the side of the steadfast presence. They are going to take him down. However, they do already lose Whale and Issue off the back of it. Taco looks to buy some time for the team. The double kill comes through. LZ on the cleanup effort, 665. Gonna be running for the hills himself as Taco trying to play ring around the back of the pit, takes the blast going out to safety, empowered recalls, and the losses, they were minimal. Taco on the great escape.
2 kills for Dragon Soul? I'd take that any day. MFT actually find a decent trade right here. Yeah,
this is so messy. This is
just
the
a
most,
+2.
this is the most crazy fights.
Oh, it's super fun to watch here as well. I think, you know, a couple things going into this one. It's that MFT actually bought a lot of time just with their zoning abilities here. You saw Hong2 do a good job with the cage. Issue did take a lot of damage, but they're still able to stop the full-on engage just with the Keeper's Verdict right here at 65. About to go in to get Yushin here. And I feel like Husky actually just goes in a little bit too early. He was a part of Impunity's damage. He falls down quite early on into the fight, and the rest of the team members are actually just able to kind of scatter and scamper into the jungle, use those empowered recalls and get out. So overall, it was 2 kills given over for MFT, a net 2 kills given over from MFT for the Dragon Soul, and I think for them that's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, like the early game strategy has been out the window for a while, right? Right now you're banking on the Vygar, and he has kills, he has a death cap. And, you know, again, when it comes up, we got to start to look at those stacks because it's starting to hurt over and over again. The Callista's still a threat. The Aatrox isn't really going to do much, but that's okay as long as Taco just kind of dances around and tries to distract Impunity from the real priority targets. It seems like that's the winning opener, but it's just so dicey. It's so close, and Impunity, they're finding kills, they're finding fights, but they're not finding the important things, and all those elemental dragons are taken. The Hextech Soul now. They get that extra chase down potential on the slow. Oh boy.
The problem I think with MFT here though is their damage profile. If you look at Sejuani, nobody's killing her. you have an on-hit build coming in from the Callista. Like before she gets Wit's End, she really is barely gonna scratch. This Sejuani. Same thing for the Aatrox and the Poppy. They're both physical damage. They don't do enough, and you're not bursting down the Sejuani.
You need Hong too to get that super late game. That's the big one. But he's still only sitting on 2 items, right? He's got a tier full stack, but he's not doing enough damage yet.
Yeah, and his profile is much more about bursts too. Like there's no way you're gonna burst through Jackpot at this point. So the sustained fights still don't look very good on the side of in MFT, but I want to see
if they
how
take
they
out
actually
LZ or Husky, that's the big thing. That's the big thing, right? If they can delete like one of those targets on the burst, that changes things. But Jackpot's looking for a flank. This is in full vision. They throw down the cage. Immediately, the sun comes off of the Vygar. Here comes the Poppycopter, denying the engagement, and the turnaround from the teleport forced out by Taco. Feels like a net win for Impunity, given the fact that they only burn a couple of ultimates for a teleport on Taco.
I think this is absolutely correct from Impunity. Every time you see MFT grouped up like this, you just go in with Sejuani. She's unkillable. So just ram her into the middle of the MFT composition, and they're going to have to burn things. They don't have a silent split for it. They don't have range to contest with you. So why not?
Yeah, it's working out. It's such a tit for tat this game. Like really, both teams just like finding those little advantages, and it's been close. It's been reset, but those fights are going to start being much more impactful as we get into the late game.
Here we go. We have the
things.
3
Death timers start to get too long. It's unlocked. And he's also, yeah, the fact that one of those items is a Guardian Angel as well. He's like, all right, I need to stay alive longer. How do I do that?
Guardian Angel, great buy here. Anti-burst, also physical armor going into that one. I just don't see how MFT actually win a team fight. It feels like if Impunity, yeah, this is a smart move. Impunity, you just start the Baron and turn around, you get the 5v5, you could win.
Let's see if they can do it. Could come down to some big hammers from 665. He's just about to get it off cooldown. Steph has presence. Up as he walks around the back of the pit. Baron gets peeled off. The reset. IMT, or excuse me, Impunity looking for an opener, but they don't find 665. The ejection comes out. Now they turn into the Veramancy. Alex is taken away before the rest of the team can react. Impunity lose one quickly and immediately turning their attention. Issue goes in as LZ fires him down. My, how the turntables back and forth. Jackpot caught out, but still so tanky. Into the wallbang is 665 this time. He flashes out of this one. Jackpot solo. They can take him down. Finally, it's Taco getting his revenge. What a messy back and forth. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of MetaFalcon team.
Great stuff coming in from 665. This is the first time that he finally gets a very impactful Keeper's Verdict into the backline. He sends away the 80 carry, and you know, MFT, they're still very susceptible to the poke here.
They can't take the Baron.
No, they can't.
No. That was just a full, like, bluff call on the brush bait. I think Impunity understand what MetaFalcon team are trying to do this game. The gold continues to be incredibly close. MFT have so much standing, though, in this towers that they've only taken the outer mid. And I feel like a decisive team fight would change things very quickly. There is Elder spawning. This is an early Elder, 20.5 minutes, and it's up. And there's the timing window. Only Alex is here to try and contest.
Yeah, Impunity actually are a little bit late to the objective. They're going to have to barge their way into this. And look at the TP from Husky. It's
I don't think they can.
Far away.
The Dragon does go back into the pit, but this is going to be Smite and Callista Ren. The fight might make all the difference. They do get the stun off. Here we go. Jackpot does find one in the backline. It's getting taken away by the Callista. Jackpot, the rest of the team, going to try to force the fight as Husky goes in, splits the team up with a big package Falc, and I think they can do it off this one. Hongtu limping away, but MFT stay alive. But for Hongtu, they take the ace, and that's a triple kill for a Whale. Marching down the mid lane goes MetaFalcon team.
I can't believe it. This is a 40-second death timer right here. I don't think they can finish the game just off this push, but it's going to be really close here. Impunity, they've just been winning 90% of the games, but around these major objectives, the Baron and the Elder Dragon, just such critical mistakes. They had MFT on the run. They were chucking them down with those Corky rockets, and they just give up position. Like, MFT even messes up here by resetting the Drake, but they're just way too late into the fight. You look at this engage from Husky, and once again, doesn't get much damage off at all. He trades 1-for-1 essentially on the top side, and the rest of his team melts away with the Elder Dragon. Now it's going to be double major objectives over to MFT, and somehow they're able to find a victory condition out of such a botched game.
Oh boy. Hongtu buys a lot of time with that Zhonya's, and yeah, Husky, he's just gone for blood every time, but he puts himself out of position and goes down even through the GA. It is going to be a 3-item Aphelios. That is something to keep in mind, but man, Whale has been able to come right back up as well, and he has the Runaan's Hurricane to bring to bear, not to mention a Guardian Angel of his own. I feel like Whale, you know, is going to be pretty instrumental in all of the objectives, has been so far this game. The Vigar stacks are starting to hurt. And even Taco has found a use, right? He's just become a big bruiser.
I can't believe we just witnessed a 6,000 gold turnaround in just one play.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest comeback MFT has done.
Welcome to the PCS, where the gold leads don't matter sometimes. A teleport comes in. They will throw down the Event Horizon. Here comes the Poppycopter in the windup. They're going to try and send Husky away. Only succeed in sending a minion off, but the charge down is going to net them the first inhibitor of the game. MFT are going to back off the push from here and rotate around the map. A lot of standing gold to grab, Clement.
Yeah, and they really need every pound of that gold coming into their way. They're still going to be massively outscaled. I think even with the 5k gold advantage and the Hextech Soul, there's still a reasonable chance that Impunity can just outright win the team fight. Once again, Sejuani's still unkillable here. If they just focus down Hongtu, I think it's going to be very difficult for MFT to actually win this team fight going in. So it's just about biting out the Baron buff and hopefully looking for a turnaround.
I got a question for you, Clement. How long? What do you think the average lifespan is for a bot tier 1? Because that one lasted almost 32 minutes, longer than their mid inhibitor.
I think it's around, I would say like 18, 20 minutes. That would be probably,
Yeah. It's a very, very long-lived bot tower. The second one, maybe not as much. Well, the push is actually getting stymied decently well. That cannon creep's all that's left there. Impunity. Try to finish off. Stays alive just barely. This is the slow push. There we go. Rocket comes through. It's going to be the end until the next wave comes. But Impunity have to defend their mid. So MFT went out in the extended, just playing it safe. And you talked about it, getting that win condition out of a very, very scuffed early game. And mid, for that matter.
Jackpot might be looking for the turnaround here. If he can just kill
This
Taco
is
right
low.
off the bat, it's fine.
This is a little dangerous, yeah. I think MFT realized that they're not as secure as they'd like to be. Better to back up, don't throw the lead. Death timers are very long at this point in the game, and they've only got outer turrets, or inner turrets, and base turrets.
And to be absolutely honest, I still feel like MFT are reliant on a Elder Dragon win condition here. It's going to be up in 90 seconds, and without it, the 5v5 is just so difficult for their side. The best strategy is probably still to just use double smite, get the objective. They have great zoning tools in the Keeper's Verdict, and just the baby cage, as you call it. Drop those two, get the Elder Dragon, and then finish off the game.
Yeah, that's a habit we all pick up in the LEC. It's all you get those things stuck in your head. They never leave, Clement. Speaking of never leaving, I kind of feel like Impunity are just going to try to fully deny burst. It's another Guardian Angel picked up, this time by Alex. Jackpot with the Anathemas chains too. I do want to call attention to that. Man, he's had such a game. He might lose this one. The team might still lose, but how often do you get to see just a full bruisery Sejuani, full tank build just chasing people down?
It would be really tragic for Jackpot if they lose this one. I feel like he's outplayed his opponent pretty much the entire way, and this is a good chance. I think Impunity can actually go in here. They're just waiting for Husky to catch them. If they get a straight 5v5, front to back, they still are favored.
There we go. You do see... Oh, yeah, look at that poke from the Corky Rockets. Hong to an issue, already chunked out of that one. Setup is coming in here for the second Elder. MFT, they want to secure this to take the win. They've got an open inhib down mid, but the wave clear from Impunity is so huge. And MFT, they don't want to take the straight up 5v5. They need a favorable opener for themselves. And Taco actually getting caught up by Alex. And does find a little damage on the return. The Poppycopter wind up. I don't think 665 will take it. No, they wait for the reset on that. The rockets being dodged. The threat is still there, though. Husky not expended the package. They want to wait this out. And they throw down another zoning cage. But Hong2 still taking damage. Taco going around the back of the pit. They have not aggroed it. Oh, it's so tense on a knife's edge this game.
Still don't see the Rel. The Rel's going in.
They do get the Glacial Prison immediately into Whale. Can they get the kill? He is zoned solo up, and they do not take him down just yet. Into the Resurrections all across the side. Yushin looking for the lick onto Whale. Gets the exhaust down. Alex does take Hong2 out of the fight. The rest of the team has to get there in time. Husky flashing over the wall, finding the rocket poke. The turnaround once again. That's going to be the Guardian Angel pops this time for Whale. They find even more damage out the backside. It's so low on the health bars, but it's all coming up MFT. Whale staying alive made all the difference as they teleport in, and Taco may very well be the one to end the game.
Impunity with a communication breakdown on the end. They leave their fed Aphelios to Taco, who's not been able to get anything done the entire time. And Taco just says, well, if their 80 carry is right on top of my face, I'm just going to chop him down. So Impunity, unfortunately, I feel like they kind of collapse at the very end right there. They won 90% of the game. They got the good early game. Jackpot had a great time, but unfortunately, this just unfortunate chain of events that caused them to lose major objectives, and the last team fight was just way too hectic for comfort. They weren't able to keep their distance with that poke on the Corky. They gave up on their 80 carry, and the wall comes tumbling down. MFT find another solid win.
My goodness. The fight's turned so close. Guardian Angels coming in handy. Hong2 gets taken out of that fight, and they still find the win thanks to Whale. And this is the setup. This is the final play again. And who'd have thunk after that game, Taco would be the instrumental one, keeping LZ away as they get the Poppy ejection. It's the 1v2. Not much LZ can do on his own, even with the Moonlight Vigil forced to flash away. I guess Aatrox still has impact, even if he gets shut down.
For sure, you know, a great knock away, just getting the support out of position right there. Easy cleanup on the top side, and then on the bottom, unfortunately, Corki actually had to engage right there. I just feel like Impunity misread their situation. They weren't the ones that actually needed to engage. They could have just stayed there and poked out as long as possible. MFT didn't really have a chance to take the Elder in front of them. The longer that situation went on, the better for MFT it would have been. I just don't understand why they needed to force the engage. They left their backline completely open, and then you saw the package had to go in right into the midst of the enemy. It was... I feel like this game was such a throw. I didn't think Impunity would lose this game when they hit the 3-item mark.
Yeah, it's, you know, the focus was on Hung 2 as well, but it does seem like they are the ones who lost their patience first. I think MFT, they held back. They were able to take the fight themselves, and man, they were down so much of this game, finding comebacks, finding a little bit of late game condition. Honestly, just really critical play in a couple of moments in those really hectic fights. I think, you know, Whale managed to get off of Fate's Call like right as he was going into the Guardian Angel. Like, it was pretty like down to the wire, and just, you know, Impunity, I think they lost their heads in the moment. You're right, and they will be going back to the drawing board after this one, still having a hard time winning games. MFT win their third. That ties onto Impunity's record, and now there's a tiebreaker win in the first round robin. Clement, things are spicy. I feel like every side of this bracket right now, everybody's got wins, everybody's finding surprises. I don't know if it's because teams are throwing or other teams are catching, but something's happening here in the PCS.
The lessons for Impunity are so difficult to draw because they've actually had a worse record after their Korean imports have arrived. I don't feel like they've gotten any worse just by the eye test, but the communication is incredibly sus. I think that's the thing that's plaguing Impunity right now. In my opinion, they outdrafted. Their early game was fine. There was a couple of mistakes by LZ, you know, just a strange pickup kill in the bottom lane. But if they kept their cool, they should have won that game. There was a couple of things that they definitely need to change. Number one, I think Husky, you can tell that he only plays melee champions. The way he piloted that Corki, it looked like a kamikaze run. It did not look like someone who was trying to poke out the enemy.
He went melee multiple times, yeah. Like, I mean, it worked out when they already had the plays, but so many times that it just, yeah, the package eventually runs out, but the thread is just so much more valuable a lot of the time than even using it in an offensive manner. And you could see where the game fell off a cliff there for Impunity, just shy of 30 minutes, and, you know, the Kalista damage was huge. The Vigar damage was starting to stack up. I do think there were a couple of clutch Poppy ultimates, but it was all enabled by Impunity choosing to press the go button when they should have held on.
It was a really bad timing for Impunity to get caught out. They got caught right in front of the Baron into a soul. That was, you really couldn't have given yourself a worse odds to get caught. It was a 3-man catch, and it also empowered Home2 to get a double kill when he's been quiet the entire game. So, you know, even after such a massive mistake, I still feel like Impunity should have won. They were able to hold out on the Elder, they held out on the Baron, and, you know, they had that poke potential. We were seeing the chunk coming out from Husky. Just one rocket was able to take Home2 down to 2/3 HP, and they just forced the engage on themselves. It's I don't know what to make of this game. This is I don't think MFT should have won, but they did.
Yeah, and that's all that matters to get the Nexus at the end. I mean, yeah, like based on how that game started, it's crazy to think that the last hit on the Nexus was actually Taco. But Whale earns the MVP. He was very instrumental in the fights that went down. As crazy as those fights have been, 31.5% of the team's damage. And, you know, we knew this Kalista was going to punish. We didn't know exactly how it was going to happen. And I do think Whale was probably one of the better and more consistent performers on the MFT side. So a well-earned MVP to him.
He's kept himself alive a lot of these times, and
that's all you have to do. First rule of League of Legends, don't die.
It really is. I was really surprised because Kalista does so little damage against his competition. Like, she's building on hit, she doesn't have the penetration, and it's just like, well, I guess I'll stay around.
The objectives, though, right? I mean, that's the big thing, is they got all the dragons, despite even, like, you know, losing out on a couple of fights. They managed to turn it. They kept the win condition in mind, and somehow MFT finds a way, so they get their third win on the board. And, you know, maybe it was a bit weird. They didn't exactly show us their work, but they found the correct answer, and I think that is still worth the credit.
It's so mind-boggling now that Impunity joins the bottom of Sem9 and Jewish team as the only teams that MFT have been able to beat. I just feel like MFT is... I feel like their baseline of play really isn't that high, but they've been able to take it to teams like Beyond Gaming and PSG and then still win 3 games in the first round robin. So I got hats off to MFT. You guys have made it work, and you're punching above your weight.
They certainly are. We'll see if they can keep on punching. But in the meantime, we're going to take ourselves a bit of a cool down. When we return, J-Team take on Mega Bank Beyond Gaming. Don't go anywhere.